Hello, today we'll do the poem "A Poison Tree" by the poet William Blake. William Blake was one of the great romantic poets of English literature, and he's written two very famous collection of poems. One is called The Songs of Innocence, and the other is called The Songs of Experience. So this poem, "A Poison Tree," is by William Blake. So the poet says, I was angry with my friend. I told my wrath did end. So the poet was angry with his friend once for some reason or the other. Then he told his friend about his wrath. Wrath is anger. So he told his friend why he was angry with his friend. And as soon as he expressed his anger ended. I was angry with my foe. I told it not. My wrath did grow. So the poet was angry with his enemy once, but he did not express it. He kept it within himself. And because it kept it within himself, it grew within himself. And in the second stanza, the poet says, and I watered it in fears night and morning with my tears. So the poet was afraid of his enemy, and often in the silence or when he was alone, he cried because he was afraid of what his enemy might do to him. And he was afraid, and his anger grew like a plant, and he watered this plant of anger in fears. He's continuously surmising what his enemy might or might not do. He was afraid of his enemy. And night and morning, he used to cry over his enemy's intentions. And he says, I sunned it with smiles and with soft, deceitful wiles. So, as his anger continued to grow, he, whenever he met his enemy, he smiled at his enemy in a friendly manner. He gave sunny smiles. And he covered his anger or his wrath with soft, deceitful wiles. Wiles are tricks. He used politeness, he used courtesy, he used uh, deceptive language, deceptively friendly language to hide his anger from his enemy. And it grew both day and night till it bore an apple bright. And my foe beheld it shine, and he knew that it was mine. So finally, the result of all the anger and all the fear and all the discord that he felt uh, grew day and night. It continuously progressed till he hatched a plan, and he describes this plan to trap his enemy as a bright apple. And his enemy fell for the trap. He saw it, he beheld the trap, he beheld the apple, as the poet calls it. He saw it shine, and he knew that it was mine. So the enemy knew, or thought he knew, that the poet had something valuable. And the poet says in the last stanza, and into my garden stole when my night had veiled the pole. In the morning glad I see my foe outstretched beneath the tree. So the poet's enemy tried to steal whatever the poet had set up for him. He stole into the garden of the poet like a thief. When the night had veiled the pole, when the pole star had been covered by the darkness of night, the poet's enemy tried to take what the poet had, but it was a trap, and the enemy fell for the trap, and he died. In the morning, says the poet, he was glad to see his foe or enemy outstretched beneath the tree, prostrate and dead. So, in the poem, the poet speaks about how anger, which is expressed, spends itself, but anger which is contained grows until something dangerous is produced. So, this is the poem A Poison Tree by the Romantic poet William Blake. Thank you.